What's the word, reptile nerds? Anyways, before I get this video started, I'd like you to comment below if there's anything you want me to talk about, any subject you want me to help you out with. I definitely have a lot of experience with reptiles, ball pythons, bearded dragons, breeding rats, pretty much a jack of all trades when it comes to reptiles. I do breed spotted pythons, carpet pythons, a lot of colubrids. Obviously, ball pythons are my main bread and butter, but I do know a little bit about everything. And if I don't know, I'll know someone that does. So anyway, just comment below what you may talk about, or you know, if I don't talk about it on a video, I'll either ask for an email and send you an email, or I'll comment below. So let's get this video started, guys. Welcome back, everybody. So if you're thinking about getting into rats, I'm going to kind of give you some hints in how it works out for me. I breed rats. I do have about 50 plus snakes. I think I'm closer to the 70 end. I know it's cheaper for me, but sometimes it's the work and the time. I feel like my time's important, especially to me and my family. And it's not because I'm lazy. I run an RV repair center. I'm a service manager, so I already have a daytime job. Also at night, me and my wife, we clean buildings just for extra money, and also I sell reptiles and also do videos, and plus I keep and sell rats. And so I don't have a lot of time and a lot of free time, and that's kind of the issue, is that it takes so much time. I can have more reptiles if I didn't have the rats to take care of. That's what I should say. I can actually get more reptiles and less rats, and I understand it's going to cost me more money to get frozen. That being said, I'm actually transitioning to ASF rats. They don't need to be cleaned once a week. I mean, I clean them. This might be bad, but I tried 3 weeks and see what happened, and I still couldn't smell them. To me, that's amazing, because if I tried that with my my Norwegian rats, I'd have to get a gas mask. I can tell on the fifth or sixth day that they haven't been changed. Even I have a carbon filter going all the time in the air, and it'll start to come through. Unfortunately, my garage is connected to my house. It's part away from everything else, but it's still connected to the house, and I can smell them on the fifth or sixth day, and that's unfortunate. And I've tried lots of different things. Things help out, but nothing takes away that smell. So I am slowly getting rid of my Norwegian rats and slowly bringing in African soft furs. Now, understand that African soft furs take longer to breed, but they have some benefits. They are easier to feed. They take way less food. They take way less water and way less care. And to me, they even like being in my ballroom, which is fine with me, because they like that warmer temperature. So I can keep them all in one room and close by, and they take so much little space compared to the Norwegian rats. Anyways, but you came here and want to know, are they worth breeding? Yes, they are financially worth breeding. If you have the time, you want to clean them out a couple of times a week, at least about every 5 days. What I started doing is, like on Monday, I'll clean this row, maybe this row. On Tuesday, I clean this row. In this row, I kind of do a rotation of different ones instead of just doing them all in one day. Otherwise, it's too much work. But there is a lot of work involved with rats. I can tell you, I spend a tenth of the time on keeping my reptiles and my snakes than I do in my rats. Watering them, feeding them, cleaning up after them, it's a lot more work. At first, I went a little crazy because I wanted to get my population going, and I got too many. I finally got them down to a manageable number, but they're not working out for me. I have people texting me, calling me, Facebooking me all the time if I have rats available. So there is definitely money in rats. If you're interested in that, there definitely is. It's not for me, but it might be for you. Every day, I put a couple ads on Craigslist about frozen and live rats, and I get texts all the time, or I get emails all the time. I actually got to a place where I say I'm not carrying anymore, because it was like, meet me here, I need you to do, and it's not that I don't like these people and I don't want to help these people. It's just that you start cutting into more time. And if that's what you want to do and you want to breed rats and you need to make some money, definitely viable. Now, I don't know where you live, but here we have a lot of people that keep reptiles, and there's only one person here that sells rats, and sometimes he runs out too. So, and he doesn't do frozen at all. So, frozen rats I sell a lot, and I had to cut back because it was wearing out my time. So there definitely is money. Breeding rats, it's just not my cup of tea. Now, I might stick with the ASF rats and might start selling those, but I heard they don't breed near as fast, and I don't expect to get a crazy colony. I'm thinking about getting a freedom breeder rack and getting a smaller one, and that's all I'm going to do. No more than that. And like I said, lots of work, but you got to find a place to dump all these chips and all these pellets. I use pine pellets. I get them at Tractor Supply, or there's a place called Co-op Feed Store here. The Co-op Feed Store, I get the ones, what they call the pellet stove pellets. They work just fine. The ones at Tractor Supply are made for horse bedding pellets. They say it's supposed to work better, but I can't tell the difference. They soak up the same, and I can't tell any smell difference. So usually in the wintertime, I get the ones at the fireplace pellets, because they're still sell them here. You can buy them by the pallets. Obviously don't buy that many, but I usually go buy like 10 bags of it because it's on sale. It's usually cheaper this time of year. I go buy 10 bags and keep it stocked up, to this time of year. But then when it gets warm, they really don't sell them anymore. I have to go to Tractor Supply. They're like $1 more. So anyways, pine shavings and these pellets, you have to find a place to throw these away. And you have all these cages right here, and every week you gotta find a place to dispose of this, and that comes an issue too. During about 9 months of the year, I have what's called it's a bin outside that I can put my leaves and my mulch and stuff like that in there. They have no problem with me putting that in there, so that gets dumped once a week. But now it's getting closed after all the leaves are off the trees. They take them away for about 3 or 4 months, and then I have to find places. I have a truck, so sometimes I take it to the dump. That's the only issue, one of the big issues I find. But there's lots of money in rats if you definitely want to do it, if you have the heart for it. I have it because of necessity. I love rats. I think they make great pets. Actually, I have pet rats that I've raised myself, and they're pets and they're great animals. Actually, I'm not a fan of feeding them because they're so great animals, but that's just part of life. You have to feed your snakes. You can't let them starve. And having live rats on hand works really well for ball pythons. Ball python people, I know the breeders understand this, but there is ball pythons that will not eat nothing but live. And I know people have a hard time with this, and that's just the reality of it, is that some of them will only eat live. I have some that only eat mice. I have some that only eat African soft furs. So that's what it is. And you can't let your animal starve because you think it's immoral, which in the wild they do eat rats. It may not be Norwegian rats, but they still eat rats. So if they weren't in your cage, they'd be out in the wild and they would be eating rats. I don't have no enjoyment feeding it to them, but it's part of life. So, and live is so much better for ball pythons. Now I have other snakes. I have hognose. I have boas. I have carpet pythons, spotted pythons, corn snakes. They have no issue eating frozen. My God, they'll take anything from me. Not that I ever would, but I would probably put a hot dog in there and they'd probably take it from my hands. They're super great eaters. Ball pythons, on the other hand, are not eaters. I have some that'll just eat for months straight, and then they'll go off feed for 2 to 3 months. It's just the way they are. They're very finicky eaters, and that's just, if you have ball pythons, you have to feed live every now and then. And if you just get one, you might get them turned to frozen as a pet, but if you're a breeder, you have to go to live. But like I said, if this is what you want to do, definitely do it. It's cost effective. They're definitely worth it. Also, on a side note, make sure you use Missouri or some kind of close to it, Missouri 6F. I tried, someone told me, and I was stupid, I listened to them, I used some doggy bag dog food, and I tried it for a while because they said it would work just fine because it's a low grade dog food and it's a grain. Well, I found out it did not work for me. I had some sickness in there. Also, you gotta be careful the temperatures in there, because if you have a big temperature change, not if it's cold even, but like say it's 80 degrees and it goes down to like 65 or 70. I'd say about 70. It went from hot here to 80 degrees. I keep them in my garage, so there is I had an AC in there, but an AC in that garage going all the time only breaks it down to about 76 to 80 degrees. Well, the weather changed and it went down. I didn't put no heater in there yet because I didn't need it. It got down to about 70 degrees. That 10 degrees caused them to get colds. There was like a cold outbreak, and I did lose not a lot, but I lost some my breeders from colds. They started sneezing and they died. They're all better now. I got the heat back up, and I guess it's my fault for not thinking about that climate change, you know, because here in Washington, sorry, there's a plane going over. Here in Washington, when that temperature change, it's drastic. It's like you go from like 100 degrees down to 60 to 50 degrees the next day. It's insane here. That's what it's like living in the Northwest. In the summertime, I mean, you get 110, 105 degree weather, and then you get super cold in the winter time. So anyways, definitely worth doing if you're into it. Just know it's a lot of work, and use the right food, and you will definitely make money. That's what you're into. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Later. I didn't make too many mistakes this week, so I'll have to make my own. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. How much wood would a woodchuck? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? There we go. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?